Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's RDF again and I'm back with FM Scout with another video. This will be a tactic video, but this time a tactic that I have created myself. Recently I've been doing a lot of recreations, and whilst doing a lot of recreations I've basically learned a lot more about different tactical styles. I picked some influences of some great managers and I've just tried to mash it together and put my own twist and my own ideas alongside it. I will be showing you the results alongside the tactics and the details. The reason why I'm doing this is because with the stats and the results, I can also show you the idea and what I was aiming for. At Seville, with this tactic, I managed to win the league, which is very surprising. But also, I managed to win the Europa, and as we know, Seville are the Europa kings. Regista is a role that isn't used too often. I feel you must build a perfect system around your Regista for him to be able to be the best he can. And that's what I've aimed for. So for the shape, I've gone with a 4-1-4-1 with the Regista being the one in the midfield. I've named this tactic Protect the Regista, and that is exactly what I am trying to do. So I'll start with the back line and how it operates. I have one wing back on an attack who will constantly bomb down the wing. He will be an option for the Regista to play key passes out wide. On the left hand side, I have the inverted wing back. The reason why I have an inverted wing back because he will add a little bit more caution than the right back. As this wing back bombs up this flank here and this Regista is operating around here to affect the game, I do want my inverted wing back to come inside a little more just to protect this area of the pitch here. For the two centre backs, I've gone with the pairing of a ball playing centre back alongside a central defender. The ball playing centre back will look to play the key passes more often than the centre back. The centre back, alongside an aggressive tactic, he will look to keep the ball. And that is what we want. We want a nice mixture of someone playing the key passes and someone just keeping the possession. The one keeping the possession will look for the Regista even more. For the ball playing centre back, I do have dribble less because I want him to play the ball more and dribble less often. For the centre back, he has no instructions. For the right wing back, we have shoot less often. When he's in advanced areas, I do not want him to shoot. I want him to look for a pass or a cross. I also have marked tighter. This is so we don't give the opposition's wide men opportunities to cross the ball. For the inverted left wing back, it's the exact same instructions. For the left winger and for the flanks, we've gone for the more traditional roles as just the wingers that support. They will help the flanks. They will be going up. They will be coming back to track back and help the defense. It's all about protecting the Regista and also protecting us from counter attacks. The winger in support will look to take more risks in possession. He will cross from the byline. I don't want him crossing from deep. I want him to go to the byline. Ideally slot it back a low cross. This should help create at least a half chance or a clear cut chance. I have shoot less often for the exact same reasons as the fullbacks. I just don't want them to shoot. They also have get further forward when we're in possession. Of course, I want to stretch the oppositions too. And we have marked tighter again. Literally the same reasons as the fullback. It's to give the opposition wide men little time on the ball. For the right winger, he has the exact same instructions as the left winger. For the centre mid, I've gone for two Mazzalas. They'll be looking to get forward, go wider to stretch play, and roam from positions to pick pockets in the opposition's defence. I understand that using a 4-1-4-1, the shape alone means more than often we will be solid. Alongside the team fluidity, which is unstructured, means we're just going to have a solid base. And in possession, I want us to be more expressive and less structured. He has dribble less. We are a dribble less team. We're not a possession based team, but I do want the team to knock the ball about. For this Mazzala, again, shoot less. This is pretty much the instruction on most of my players. I don't want shots. I don't want to end most games with a 30 shot count. I'm more than happy ending the game with a 10 shot count and winning 4-0, scoring for my chances, than having a shot count of 30 shots and winning 1-0. I also have marked tighter on the centre mid. This is just to close down space and give the opposition less time on the ball. For the right hand sided Mazzala, the only instruction he got is dribble less. He will be the little less aggressive Mazzala, one more aggressive than the other. I don't want them to do the exact same thing. Only the wingers on each flank, the left winger and the right winger, only they will act similar. I want everyone else to be a little different, act different on the ball, give us a little bit more unpredictability. For the advanced forward, I got him to pass shorter. When he's up top, because he's up top alone. I want him to have better possession with the ball. I don't want him to be also looking for the key passes, because mainly the key passes should be going to him. So if he can hold the ball up a little bit better, possession based passes for other players, that's fine with me. But with this guy, I want him to shoot more often. He is the striker. The striker's job is to score goals. For him, I also got tackle harder and mark tighter. I don't want the opposition to have too much time on the ball when they are building up. So I want him to be closing down the space and grabbing the ball as soon as possible. Last and not least, the main role of the Regista. The Regista has the complete freedom to do what he like. Of course, apart from shooting, I want him to shoot less often. One surprising instruction here is close down more. The idea behind close down more on my Regista, I want him to be closing down the ball. The quicker he can be in possession of the ball, for me, the better for our build-up. So the idea behind this is let him almost act as a ball-winning midfielder off the ball, but as soon as he's on the ball, he's the aggressive Regista. So he will be tackling harder and marking tighter. So that's it for the player roles. At the right back, we've got the right wing back on the attack. On the left hand side, we've got the left inverted wing back on the attack, but he will be looking to come inside to support the Regista when the Regista moves from position. I've got the two centre backs, one on the centre back role to keep better possession on the ball, one as the ball playing defender. He will be looking to play the more key passes. I have the two traditional wingers on each side on support, helping both going forward and supporting the fullbacks. We have the two Mazzalas in the centre mid, just creating all kinds of space, opening up space for the Regista to play. Mazzalas go out wide in these areas here. I am looking for the Regista to move in here. The lone striker up front is the advanced forward, the main goal scoring outlet. Now we're going to look at some team instructions. Whilst I talk about the team instructions, I may go into some stats from the league to show you the ideas and how it came to fruition. So out of possession, this is what we look like. We have a high line defensive line with a much higher line of engagement. I feel the Regista works best when you're a more aggressive team, when you're pressing high up the field. The reason why I've gone with a higher and the much higher, I want to create a little gap in the midfield. Again, this gives the Regista more space. It's all about the Regista, this tactic. With a higher defense line, we've gone with the offside trap, of course. Defensive width, we're on standard. The reason why we're on standard, narrow, gives the opponents the opportunity to cross the ball from wide. It gives the wide players some space to play in, and wide does the opposite. It may leave gaps centrally, and as I've got a Regista moving aggressively, I do not want any gaps in the middle. So I left it standard to keep balance in defense. Marking, I've gone with a tighter marking. Of course, we want to close down the space. I want to shuttle, cut off passing lanes. I don't want to be too aggressive, but I want the opposition to have little time on the ball. Pressing intensity, we're going with more urgent. I know a lot of tactics out there is on extremely urgent, but I've gone with more urgent. Again, we are using a Regista. If I go extremely urgent, people will start to press too aggressively, and again, gaps will start to appear. We have no holding midfielder. All three of my midfielders will be roaming from their position. So if they're roaming from position and we're closing down too much, gaps, and that is not what we want. We want to prevent the short goalkeeper distribution. Of course, like I said earlier, my idea, I don't want opposition to have the ball, and I don't want them to build up from the back. Tackling, stay on feet. There is no get stuck in. We want to stay on feet. I can list a few reasons why I'm choosing this, and I'm so happy that this worked. One reason is set pieces. I hate giving away set pieces. Using get stuck in also makes your players tackle aggressively. This means you may rack up some yellow cards throughout the season, even red cards, just giving away too many fouls, but also the opportunity of getting beaten too easily. If they get the ball while you're getting stuck in, they may easily beat your challenges, and that makes your defense a little exposed. But does stay on feet work on Football Manager? If we look at some stats from using this option, the stay on feet and not the extremely closing down, you would get similar stuff like this. Seville 20th with the yellow cards given. We received the least yellow cards in the whole season. We managed to win the league whilst getting the least yellow cards, and that tells me maybe the stay on feet option does work. Maybe it's possible to have the stay on feet with the right system around it. There was 4 teams in the La Liga that received no red cards. I'm happy to be one of them. I've had saves where I've had 4 or 5 red cards. That's 4 or 5 games that you could have dropped points due to being down to 10 men. I'm a little cautious with things. I don't like being a man down. I don't like players being cautioned and then me having to tell them to calm down, don't get a yellow card. I don't want that to be an option for me. During team talks, I'd rather try to motivate my players, encourage them, or demand more rather than telling them to calm down. We'll also look at this fouls made. Again, Seville, 20th. We gave away the least fouls in the league. Back to the tactic. In transition, when possession has been lost, we are going to regroup. Again, we have players roaming from position. We have the DM and our 2 centre mids. That's our central midfield, which is the biggest area on the pitch, arguably. So if they're roaming and we lose the ball, I don't want them to be counter pressing. I want them to come back, get in position. The aim is to be solid defensively. When possession has been won though, we are going to counter. As soon as we win the ball, I want my right wing back getting forward. I want my left wing back coming forward as well, but going centrally as the Regista pushes forward, the 2 Mazzalas pushes forward alongside the 2 wingers. So at the same time, I want to be very aggressive, very offensive, but also very solid. I feel we can achieve that, and that is what I'll try to do. When we're distributing, we're going to distribute it to the centre backs. I want my centre backs to be able to pass it out wide or get it to the Regista. So now, if we look at some defensive stats, because like I said, the aim is also to be solid alongside being attacking. We conceded the least in the league. This is using regroup. This is people getting back into position rather than closing down, counter pressing, leaving gaps. And I feel like us regrouping when we're losing possession is a big reason why we only conceded 13 throughout the whole league. Goals from corners, we also conceded none. A lot of people have set piece issues. As you can see here, we hardly conceded that many from set pieces. So if we check, we conceded 0 from corners, we conceded 1 from a direct free kick, and we conceded 1 from an indirect free kick. So the whole season, pretty much, we only conceded 2 goals from set pieces. Incredible. Clean sheets. We are joint top with the clean sheets. We have 26 clean sheets. Excellent stuff. We have an 87% tackling 1 ratio. Very impressive. Again, I feel that's because we're not closing down too much. We only got a few players with the option of tackling harder. Players are tackling meaningfully. They're not just making tackles for the sake of it. They're putting in tackles when they think they can win the ball. We only won 520 tackles. That is the lowest in the league. That is because we wasn't attempting too many tackles. We tackle when the time is right. Our main thing is closing down, intercepting, cutting off passing lanes, and then counter. Now let's look at in possession. Attacking width is unfairly narrow. By standard, it's fairly wide, but if we lose the ball while we're fairly wide, it may leave gaps in the midfield, and this leaves us open for counter attacks. So I feel that playing wider or fairly wide or extremely wide for me is not really an option. So if we do lose the ball in midfield, or if we do lose the ball centrally, at least our players are positioned more centrally to stop any counter attack happening. Approach play is to pass into space. Like I said, we want to counter and to get our wing back and our 2 wingers on the ball and in dangerous positions. I feel that we need to pass the ball to them into space. Alongside the advanced forward, there would hardly be a point in using an advanced forward if we're not going to pass it into space, as he moves into channels and he gets further forward. We're going to play out defense, of course, because I want the Regista to be the main man on the ball. For the passing directness, we're going to pass it a little bit shorter. I feel that if we pass it a little bit more direct, we need more players in advanced positions, but as we're playing a 4-1-4-1 with a DM, I think that we need to pass it shorter, get better possession of the ball and able to move forward. But whilst we're passing shorter, we've gone for a quicker tempo, so things happen a little bit more urgent, not too slow, not too predictable, and expose the gaps that maybe the Mazzala creates by staying wider. For the final third, we're going to cross the ball low. I am using advanced forward. My advanced forward was Muner, the ex-Barcelona player. This guy, as you can see, he's only 5'9". His jumping reach is 8. His strength is 10. His bravery is 11. His heading is 9. It's pretty much useless if the ball is anywhere else but low. We are going to work the ball in the box. The idea is for the advanced forward to hold the ball a little more, giving time for the other players to get up and support him. He's got the pass shorter option, so work ball into the box alongside him passing shorter. Hopefully it just gives us better possession around the box and it helps us to create some good chances. Dribbling, we're going for dribble less. We don't want to make lots of dribbles. Dribbling more is high risk. I want us to have better possession on the ball, as we have a few players actually playing risky passes. We've got the 2 centre mids taking more risky pass alongside the Regista. Also, if we lose the ball whilst dribbling, again, we might be left open for the counter. Creative freedom. more expressive. We have a structured team fluidity, so when we are in that final third, I want my creative players just to be expressive. Express yourselves. Our mentality is positive. We want to knock the ball about. Things happen quick but not too quick. Also being cautious of the opposition's counter. So let's look into some results quickly. We started very well. We started with lots of clean sheets. If we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 clean sheets in our first 7 games. We lost our first league game away to Valencia. That's no embarrassment. But then we went on another good run, including a 3-1 win at home to Atletico. But as you can see here, and if you check the dates, around January, around February, you will notice performance may start to drop. But as you can see, another 0-0 draw away to Atletico. You can see I also got my revenge on Valencia. If I could just show you something quickly before I finish the rest. If we look at the big teams that we played, Man United away, Barcelona away, Real Madrid away, Atletico Madrid away, we never lost. We never lost against a big team away. Well, Valencia, you may count them as a big team. I can take that. So, okay, we lost 1 game away against a big team. We're so difficult to break down. As you can see in the Europa, in the group stage, we won all games. We played 6, we won 6, and we conceded 1 in the group stage. Then in the knockout rounds, it started very similar with a 2-0 away win against Frankfurt. At home, we won 3-1. Then we went away to Man United. Then we came at home and we beat them 1-0. We had a good draw in the next round against Club Brugge. We managed to beat them both legs. A 1-0 victory at home, then a 2-0 victory away. And then in the semi-final, I feel the most toughest yet was against Wolves. People might be thinking, how was Wolves more tougher than Man United? But believe me, a team setting up at 5 at the back, the way Nuno does, is very difficult to break down. But they are very good on their counter with Ruben Neves and João Martinho in the centre. Very good team. So I was very pleased to beat them 1-0 away. And then at home, they gave me a scare, but we beat them 3-2 at home. And in the Europa final, we beat Roma 2-1. Now, if we look at the rest of the details, Barcelona finished with 80 goals, which is the most in the league. We came second place with 72. I'm okay with that. We scored 8 goals from corners, which is quite a lot, but that's 8 goals from 72, so we wasn't heavy reliant on it. Goals from direct free kicks, we scored 3. Goals from indirect free kicks, we finished 5th, but wow. Barcelona, 16 free kick goals, ridiculous. Passes completed, we finished 6th, that's okay. We're also 4th with pass completion. We're 4th with the chances created. I prefer to create my chances, catching up the opponents off guard, creating space and being very clinical, then creating loads of chances. We created 89 chances and we scored 72 goals. Of course, the 72 goals are not from all the chances created, but we compare that alongside with someone like Real Sociedad, who created a lot of chances but only scored 66 goals. Shots on target ratio, we're 51, so we're getting our shots on target. And our conversion rate is fairly high as well, with 4th, 11% conversion rate. Shots on target, we finished 2nd with 328, so we're getting our shots on target. Very impressive stuff. Fouls against, we're 5th. Dribbles per game, we're low, 15th. So I know that the dribble less again is working for me. So roughly 14 dribbles per game. I'm guessing that comes mostly from the right back, the 2 wingers, and maybe the striker. Distance covered, Ronnie Lopez and Suso. So guys, remember I told you a little earlier, I want my 2 wingers on support to be going up and to be coming down. Here is evidence that it's working. Key passes. Ever Banega, for the most part of the season, he played as my Regista. Chances created, Ronnie Lopez and Suso's there. If we also look at here, mistakes leading to goals or general mistakes, none of our players are there. We don't really make mistakes. Interceptions made, Diego Carlos is there on the list. Again, probably because he's not closing down. The aim is to make interceptions rather than tackle. And if we look at the goalkeepers, our goalkeeper conceded the least. Our goalkeeper got the most clean sheets. So if we look at the goals throughout the whole team, you'll notice that there's 4 players here over double figures, so the goals are pretty much spread out through the team. We can see this guy, he's got 8 goals. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. We got Oliver with 6 goals alongside 6 assists. If we look at the assists as well, our stats are pretty much spread out throughout the whole team. As you can see here also, I made no signings. This is all done with the original squad. This was the best team for the season that I went with. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching my double winning save. I won the league and the Europa League with Seville using Protect or Regista. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you download this tactic as it brought me success, so I hope it will bring you similar success too. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. I hope to see you soon, guys. Enjoy your day. Peace.